Good morning, folks. Should have just said howdy. Hi, guys. I had the strong urge to be like a cringe YouTuber and go like, welcome to another YouTube video. But I'm not gonna do that. Okay, today we're all about healing your inner child. This is part 3 of a series that I started back on 4th April and took a month and a half to give you the second part. But hey, as promised, I am back. Slim Shady. Okay, so we're going to talk about healing your inner child, and this is because you guys have, if you've been following my videos or even if you're new here, we're going to be talking about, I have talked a lot about inner child, inner child wounds, inner child needs, inner child this, inner child that. How do inner child wounds manifest in your adult life? And you all have been asking me the same question, which is, Anna, okay, we have an unhealed inner child. We get it. We got the memo. What do we do about it? How do we heal it, right? So that is exactly what the topic of today's conversation is. How do you heal that of your inner child, right? Because here's the thing, guys. Whatever energy your inner child picked up on and took on, gave these meanings to things that happened when you were barely walking, barely speaking, and if the theme of your childhood wasn't very healthy and your brain couldn't develop in a healthy manner, or your parents weren't around as much, they had their own stuff going on, your inner child created these meanings about what life meant to him or her, or they or them, or it, or Batman, what the story of their life is, what the story of themselves is, how worthy or unworthy they are, how things matter or don't matter, and all of these different stories kept adding up into your energy fields. And now as you're an adult, what happens is that these past energies, we keep projecting the same energy from our field. And remember that there are that of 11 to 15 million bits of information that are all around us, but our conscious mind will only process like 50 to 60 bits of that information. And all of that depends on the energy that is within your own field. Now, if you have the energy of a wounded inner child, somebody who feels like they're not worthy, somebody who feels like they have to earn love, that they don't deserve to succeed, they don't deserve to have good things happen to them, that there's always another shoe waiting to drop. If that was the meaning you created when you were a child, then that is exactly what you keep recreating in your life. And then you're looking around wondering that, okay, well, why is that happening? Why is life so unfair? And it's like, no, it's the energy that you are putting out into the world that is simply attracting and reflecting that same energy back to you. Because here's the thing, right? Life will give us exactly the experiences we need to expand the level of our consciousness, right? And so if you are getting certain experiences over and over again, it's not that life is so terrible and everything is always against me. It's the fact that there is some message that you keep missing. So it's like, this message comes in, but you keep blaming outside. So you're like, I don't know why that's happening. The world is so bad. And the message is like literally staring down at you like, hey, hello, acknowledge me. And you're just like, life is so terrible, man. And the message is right here like, bro, what do you mean? Like, I'm here to teach you something. But when we don't learn the message that we need to learn, that is being presented to us through painful experiences, then we keep recreating the same experiences and we keep calling it a bad life, when really you're just not acknowledging what is present. Because the way that life works is that once you have taken in the message, what something keeps happening and then you just stop. Instead of jumping forward or blaming or whatever, you go like, okay, well, what is this trying to teach me? The moment you do that, and the moment you are able to hold the space for that message, to really feel and embody it, that's the moment you change. Because that's the moment things started to become different, right? Because once you have taken in that download, you are not going to be the same person. And if you're not the same person, then your behaviors, your beliefs, your actions, your thoughts, something's something changes within you, right? And when that something changes within you, something changes outside of you, and you go like, oh my God, I just got lucky. No, I'm kidding. If you heal you're not going to say that, because you're going to understand that we are all connected, that every experience we have is not something that is happening outside of us, rather just something that we are projecting from inside of us to the outside world. And we are just looking at our own reflection, and the world is a mirror for you. The world is literally like a reflective surface for you, right? And you can't change the mirror. Like if you open, like if you have a mirror in your hand and you don't like what you see, what happens? What if you go like, hey, what if I get a better mirror? You get a better mirror. You're still seeing the same reflection. And another, and another, and another. And it's the same reflection. And you're like, man, I have the most expensive mirror in the world, but I still don't like what I see. What has to change? You probably just need to go for a facial. I'm kidding. But that's literally true. Like, you can't change the mirror because it's just reflecting back to you your truth. So you got to change what you are projecting onto the mirror, right? Like maybe wash your face one extra time, maybe brush your teeth more often. I don't know, brush your hair. But the point is that when we change on the inside, we start to see a shift on the outside, and then we think that, oh wow, like things are just, it's a better season. No, we have to, the power of realizing this is realizing that the more I heal inside, what is inside me, the more I am able to influence what is outside me. Not because you are creating something from scratch, or you're some magician who is like magically changing your life and whatever. No, it's basic quantum physics that we are that of kind of like an antenna of energy, right? Imagine there's this antenna of energy. You're like a TV picking up signals, or a radio dial picking up signals, and the only signals you can pick up are those that are in tune. What is this thing? That's so funny. Hold up. But the only frequency that you keep picking up is that is a match of the frequency that you're projecting. So it's like if I'm projecting the negativity, I will only attract negativity, right? I mean, think about it. Like whatever we believe to be true, whatever energy we hold to be true, whatever we have within our own field, it's almost like life keeps presenting us evidence that, oh my God, you are so on point. You literally keep getting the message that, and this is what makes it such a self-fulfilling prophecy, because people go like, no, but I know it's true. In my life, I have seen it. People always leave me. You don't get it. And it's like, yeah, they're gonna keep leaving you, bro, until you change what is inside of you that keeps recreating that experience for you. Because the thing with the energy that is inside of us, that is familiar to us, is that we are almost married to it. It's like we fight to keep this alive. And when something new comes along the way, right? So now I've been fighting to keep this pink energy alive, but let's say a green tries to come into my life, right? But because I can't let go of this bleak little pink pen because my grandfather gave me this bag of trauma, I can't leave it. It's a generational trauma. And this green is like, hey, healing and love and freedom and liberation. And you're just like, no, you don't understand. We have always been doomed. Our family is cursed. And it's like, I can't believe I just made markers fight. But you get my idea, right? Like, you have to be willing to lose this bag of generational trauma and go like, okay, well, maybe this pink isn't freaking serving me anymore, and maybe it's time I get a better marker. I really liked my pink marker. I don't know why I dropped it. To make a point. But, so the idea, that's how Australians talk, the idea, the idea is that we can only perceive a reality that is equal to what is in our field. So we are always emitting this energy from our heart, this electromagnetic energy, right? And we have this invisible energy field around us that is constantly drawing in familiar experiences to us, and that which is not familiar to us, we Because, so even if something new comes in, we fight it so much that we push it away until that experience as well reinforces what the energy that is in our field. So maybe the green tried so hard and then I pushed it so hard and I was like, not today, green. And then as a result, what happens is that the green finally goes away and I go like, see, this is what happens. Everybody always leaves me. My life is terrible, you know? And it's like, no, maybe the world isn't always wrong. Maybe, you know, the world could be injustice and, you know, like being like unfair to you and terrible to you, blah, blah, blah. Once and maybe twice and maybe people suck 5 times, but they can't always be wrong. In order to break out of this energy, the biggest thing that you want to recognize is that you gotta be willing to let the freaking stories go. You gotta be willing to look yourself in the eye and honor yourself with the truth that, hey, you know, maybe I'm not a victim and maybe there are some things inside me that I haven't really looked at. And it's okay. And how can I do it now? Because this isn't a cause for self-judgment or blame or shame. It is literally just a call to invite you to look deeper within, to invite you to look at your life and get curious with it. That, okay, well, if the world is a reflective surface, and if it is always reflecting back my inner truth, then what the heck exists inside me that is drawing these constant experiences to me? Because that is literally what it is. It's that the answer is always inside. And maybe it takes a month for your external reality to catch up, because hey, when you begin to heal and you're beginning to like embody new beliefs, now you got to allow for time for your old beliefs, for your old energy, for the old gunk that has been collected for so long to, you know, like to exit, right? So it's like a detox. Like you got to allow for those toxins to leave your life, to create space for a new reality. So a lot of times what happens is that people will come to me, and this is one of the most incredibly amusing experiences that I have. I'll have one session with a client, and then I'll have the second one, and then the third one, when they come to sit, they go like, Anna, you know what? I don't think it's working for me. I don't think I can change, Anna. I don't think it can ever work for me, Anna. I'm doomed, Anna. You don't understand, Anna. I've tried everything and I've had 2 sessions with you and this is the 3rd one and we haven't even started, but I just know. And I'm just like, girl, we haven't even like reached the start line yet, you know? Like we're not even in lap 1. And the idea is to be patient with yourself, because you have practiced being this person for so many years, you know, for 2 decades or over. I mean, or under, but either way, you've practiced being a certain way for so long. You gotta allow for that energy to leave your life slowly. Like this is, if you're looking for a quick fix that's gonna like change your life tomorrow, then I'm sorry, you know, there's no point. It's like going to the gym one day and going like, well, I don't have abs today, so I guess this doesn't work. Like everything in life, you got to put in more reps to build that muscle. You guys can't see, but I have some real guns, right? Anyway, so coming back to this, the way we're going to be going about healing your inner child is that first, the question we want to ask is, so you want to take your journal out for this. You want to start writing these answers you can pause this after each question, or, you know, just note them all down, do it later with some music. But the first question you want to ask yourself is that of what is in your field currently? What is the energy that is in your field currently? And the way to find that out is that, what are the patterns that you keep attracting? What is the familiar energy? What are the familiar dynamics? What are your dominant thoughts, beliefs, emotions, you know? So for example, if I talk about the patterns you keep attracting, I'll give you my own example for that. The patterns you keep attracting. So when we talk about, you guys didn't see the former part that I cut out, but I went on a whole like 5-minute thought train where I was just like singing songs to myself, because I really believed that I was like, I know there's this song. Anyways, so the patterns you keep attracting. When I was a child, the meaning my inner child created of the experiences that were happening was that love is something that A, needs to be earned, and B, is very scarce. Like, there's a scarcity of love in life, and like, there's not enough love in the world, and it's almost like just there's not enough love. And it's so interesting because now when I look back to most of my experiences, I noticed that, like when I grew up, even after that, I was always like, every person I dated, every person I met, I was always trying to earn their love. Even with the friends that I had, I would go out of my way to earn their love. I would go out of my way to make them feel like I am so important, I matter so much, and I am a valid presence in your life. I'm a worthy presence in your life. Please don't abandon me. I have earned your love. So, I attracted a lot of narcissists in my life because I used to be a huge people pleaser, and I would attract people who would just use me, and, controlling, manipulative, narcissistic, dominant, the whole, 9 yards. And so, because in my childhood there was a lot of energy of control. So as I grew older, what's really interesting is that what my parents were really controlling, right? And obviously it came from a really good place from their heart because they wanted to protect me. They loved me so much. But at that time, like, that's the meaning I gave to it. So after that, I got married to escape the control. And I remember like thinking one of the biggest reasons I went for the whole wedding was that I wanted more freedom in my life. I wanted to live my life on my terms, and this and that. And the guy, he lived in another country. I wanted to move out of my parents' house. They were so controlling, so this, so that. So I got married. I moved to Dubai, and guess what happened? I was married to a very controlling person. I came back. I got a divorce. Maybe I want to say within the next few months, basically. Once my ex and I were completely out of touch, I attracted another person in my life, and we kind of started like talking and whatnot. And guess what their energy was? They were very controlling. When that person left my life, I attracted someone who was working for me, and guess what that energy was? They were very controlling. Then I started another business, and that business was with a friend of mine, and guess what the energy was? They were controlling. And it was like my parents' control on me completely like started to die down a lot since my divorce, but I always kept attracting controlling people in my life because that was the energy that was in my field. It was a very familiar energy. So when I started to heal my inner child, what happened as a result? I left the company that I had started with my friend, and I had tried to leave like 4 times before, but he wouldn't let me. But once I had healed this, I just left. I didn't care. Like, I literally didn't care. And then after that, slowly, one by one, every single person in my life that was controlling, that had a controlling energy, dropped like hotcakes. Like, literally just kept like getting out of, like, it was like small thing would happen and they're out of my life forever. And I was like, that is so beautiful, because when we start to change the energy that is in our inner child, in our field, right, we begin to attract different people. And I've attracted some incredible people since then, and I am so grateful for it. So the idea is you want to get familiar, you want to get curious with what have the patterns you have kept attracting been. Was it control? Was it abuse? Was it toxicity? Was it dysfunction? Was it narcissists? Was it cheaters? Was it people who would betray you? Was it abandonment? What has the energy predominantly been? Then you want to ask yourself, what are the similar life themes? So these two are kind of like interrelated in the sense that they're gonna complement one another. So similarities between your childhood theme and your current life. So what was the theme like when you were a kid? You know, what was the energy like? Was there fear? Was there uncertainty? Was there a worthiness wound? Was there a shame wound? Was there guilt? Was there not enoughness? You know, what was it? And how has that pattern kept reflecting back into your life? Like, I kept attracting people who were emotionally unavailable, you know, who kind of reflected back to me that you were not worthy, and I had to fight to prove my worthiness. So you want to get curious with that, and this process will only be helpful if you honor yourself with integrity and with self-honesty, because hey, the level to which you can heal is the depth to which you can be honest with yourself. You know, you can't heal from something that you're not even willing to acknowledge, right? The third part is that now, once you've gotten this, right, 90% of healing is awareness. Now you were aware and awake that, oh my God, like, you know, it's like a, wow, I did not know that. So this is where shadow work comes in. Shadow work is that of Carl Jung's concept of all repressed parts of our psyche. In a simpler way, you know, your inner wounded child can be seen as your shadow. So it has all parts of you that have been repressed, that you have shamed, that you have felt guilty for, all parts of you that you felt were unworthy. It has all your childhood wounds where you didn't feel like you mattered, you didn't feel like you were worthy, you didn't feel like you were enough. All those things are a part of your shadow. So for this context, we're just going to treat your shadow as an inner child, and we want to, through shadow work, help you integrate the shadow, right? So the core of shadow work is really understanding that your shadow or your inner child, all it wants, all it has ever wanted, is for you to accept it, is for you to love it, is for you to look at it and say, I am so sorry I neglected you for so long. And this inner child keeps bringing these experiences in your life, attracting that energy to prove that point that, you know, just look at me, I am hurting. And we usually don't acknowledge the inner, we just look at the outer, and we are like, oh, well, this person was terrible and he's so terrible, and so why do you keep meeting terrible people? Maybe it's because that's the energy in your field. So to release that energy, you need to feel the emotions and the energy off your inner child, right? So the thing about shadow work is that you need to feel it to heal it, right? A huge part of healing is literally just feeling the emotions that are in your body. And it sounds so simplistic, but it is so important, because we have kind of been socially conditioned, but we have also conditioned ourselves into being these people who don't have time for emotions, don't have time to feel, don't have this, don't have that, we're so busy, we're so caught up, blah blah blah. So if you want to heal the inner child, you need to allow to yourself to feel the big emotions. So what you're going to do is, once you've got this over here, I have been having an interesting time with my chart paper today. God knows what life wants to teach me. But you want to choose a part of yourself to work with, so a shadow. So for example, there's that of, you realize that, well, I have a worthiness wound. I don't feel like I'm worthy, right? So you're going to take a paper and you're going to write down here, I'm not worthy, okay? And over here, you're gonna ask, now you're gonna, okay, this is gonna seem a little maybe funny, maybe weird, I don't know how you perceive it. Maybe you're just gonna look at it and say, wow, that's damn brilliant in that accent. So either way, it's very powerful. I have done this multiple times. I do it with my clients. It's very powerful. But what you wanna do is write on top of the page, you're gonna write, I'm not worthy on top of the page, and then set the intention, like literally just put your hand on your heart and take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And then just in your mind, or say this to yourself, I am setting the intention to talk to this part of me, this shadow of mine, or my inner child that does not feel worthy. So you're going to treat it as a part that is separate from you, okay? And now you're going to invite it to have a conversation with you. You can do this if you are into writing. You can do this, on a journal. So you can just like write these questions like, okay, well, if that's the wound, then what do you need from me? So you talk to this part as if you're talking to someone else. Like, what do you need from me? What are the lessons that you want to teach me? How have I ignored you? How have I made you feel like you're not worthy? You want to drop all your weapons, your guards, everything on the floor. You want to drop it all, drop the justification, drop the, judgment, the criticism, the shame, every single thing. And just imagine you're talking to like a 3-year-old child, or younger or older, who's just hurting and who's trying to tell you that, hey, I'm hurting. Would you tell that kid, well, shut up, dude? That wasn't a big deal. No, you're just gonna be compassionate and listen. And that's what you want to do here. You want to be compassionate and you want to listen and you want to allow for whatever comes up to come up and say, well, how have I not met your needs? How have I made you feel like, or given you the message that you are not worthy? Allow for whatever comes up. Maybe at first your inner child might not want to talk to you. I remember when I did this for the first time, my inner child, the first thing she said was, F you, dude. F you, because you are cruel and terrible and you're this and you're that and you've just ignored me for so long and I hate you. And that felt like a stab in my heart, because I was like, well, shit, I made you feel that way and I'm sorry. And the more I apologized, all I said, like all the energy I held was, I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve that. I'm so sorry. The more I did that, the more she talked to me, the more she communicated to me. So treat your inner child as a separate entity, and we are all excellent imaginators, imaginationers. I want to say imaginators. I don't feel like that's a word. So I'll just go ahead and say we're all excellent at imaginating. We are very imaginative. Okay, whatever. So we're great at that, and it's it might feel silly for the first 10 seconds, but when you really connect with that unconscious mind and your inner child, and you really drop because that's the ego, by the way, Mr. Stupid, the ego that's going to tell you, oh, like, look at that's so silly. Oh, what do you mean you're going to talk to your inner child? It doesn't exist. Whatever your ego tells you, just be like, dude, shut up. Like, I could have been watching Netflix right now and I'm trying to talk to my inner child to heal some shit within. So can you take a freaking seat? Like, when the ego comes up, right, just like dismiss it. Be like, dude, okay, cool. I heard you. Sit down, Show your ego who's the boss, because it's not the ego. You are the boss. You the awareness, the consciousness, the you that you are in your soul, that is the boss. And so from that level of yourself, you want to just hold this compassionate space for your inner child, to allow it to come to you, to be like, hey, what's going on, sweetie? Talk to me. And then whatever comes up, all you're going to keep doing is get the message, get the lessons, and geez, Louise. Okay. Get the lessons, get the message, get everything. And once you feel like you have literally like gotten everything and there's no other message left, everything is out of the system, you're going to feel very heavy in the heart. Okay. And this is where, if you're imagining this conversatively, because I did this verbally, so what I did was I put a pillow in front of me and I imagined my inner child was sitting on top of that pillow, and I just talked to the pillow and I let the pillow talk to me. It sounds funny, but once you get into the process, you'll realize that there's two voices inside of you, that of you and then that of your inner child. So it'll be you talking to you, just energetically it'll be a different thing. Or you could journal it, so you're just going to be writing answers from the perspective. Just set the intention that I am here to bring out whatever message my inner child has for me. And whatever message there is, you ask your inner child. And then you go to number 3, which is you own that part of you and you apologize to it. So you're going to do that of the Ho'oponopono Hawaiian prayer, which is just the words, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So all you're going to do is you're going to imagine that you're giving your inner child a hug, and you can close your eyes for this and you can play some meditative music, but you're going to bring to surface everything they told you and just embrace that inner child and say, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And this is your conversation with yourself, with God, because you're telling God that, God, I'm sorry that I treated myself this way. Please forgive me for that I was knocked unconscious. Thank you for forgiving me, and I love you, God. I love you, and I love myself, and I am here to treat myself better. And as you give yourself this hug, you can ask your inner child, hey, what do I need to learn from this to let this go? And then you're going to notice that these learnings start to come up for you. You know, it could be that you are enough, I am worthy, I can let my guard down, I can receive love, I can feel like myself, I can honor myself. There can be so many beautiful learnings that come up, and it is such a beautiful healing process. So try this out, you know, do it with your inner wounds. And if you guys need assistance, support, I do offer one-on-one coaching, and I also have a membership that you can subscribe to, wherein we do 2 workshops, live workshops and meditations a month. It's a very close-knit circle right now, just 7 to 8 people who are my clients, but I'm opening it up to public as a paid subscription to our group, to our community. So either way, if you can't work with me one-on-one, I would recommend joining the membership, being a part of the inner circle, getting in that group energy where everyone is there present to heal, to support one another, to uplift one another. And it is so beautiful because when we come together brighter, we are more expansive, we are more expanded, and we're able to, you know, have a shoulder to lean on in this incredible journey that we call life. So with that, I love you all so much. Let me know how this process goes for you if you decide to try it out. And if you want to sign up for the coaching or the membership, you can either comment down below or reach out to me on my Instagram. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Wow. Cool. I really need to get another tape.